The homeowners of this Oswego home on 6th Street were shocked to come home late last night and find this tree toppled on top of their house, causing damage to the roof. Their neighbor, who's lived here for about 20 years, tells me he's never seen anything quite like this. Data center projects are often met with concerns over possible health risks, especially when the use of water is involved. But for the Iola community, the city administrator doesn't expect this to be the case. For places like Neptune Auto Repair, a possible consequence isn't necessarily having to pay more for parts, but rather having to look overseas for parts that may be of lesser quality. While those grocery bills may be high, the medical experts say that taking chances with food can lead to even higher hospital bills. Reporting in Joplin, Kenny Forman, KOAM News. At first glance, a ropes course like this might seem daunting, but the staff here at Greenbush works to help create a collaborative environment in order to help the students overcome any fears. Missouri utility customers face another delay as state regulators push back their investigation deadline for a third time. This is KOAM News. I'm Kenny Forman. The Missouri Public Service Commission has extended its investigation deadline for Liberty Utilities to March 6th. Missouri utility customers must wait at least another week for answers from state regulators. The utility investigation probe began 1 year ago today after customers complained about billing and service problems. Commission staff have issued 22 additional data requests since September and continue monthly meetings with Liberty officials. The commission originally planned to complete its report by September 30th. The deadline was moved to December, then to today's date, February 27th. President Trump said this morning that Iran wants to make a deal after both sides traded fresh strikes overnight. But the president expressed skepticism that Iran would stick to any agreement. Nana Saintou Bonsu is at the White House with the latest on that, plus the intrigue surrounding the decision to have the president switch planes on his way home from the NATO summit in Turkey. But with the FIFA World Cup putting soccer in the spotlight in the U.S., one family is using their son's love of the sport to raise awareness about strokes in younger people. Kamal Afzali reports. Former President Bill Clinton faced nearly 6 hours of questions from the House Oversight Committee investigating Jeffrey Epstein. As Tori and Small reports, Republicans and Democrats on the panel that came to a New York suburb just miles from his home to conduct the deposition said Clinton was both cooperative and transparent.
It was a very loud boom. Our back door was open. One of our workers were cleaning rugs out back with it. And then all of a sudden we just heard a loud boom and the fire guy was out the door and he was down at the accident with it.
Upon receiving word of the crash, Carl Junction Fire Chief Joe Perkins and his crew headed over to the intersection at Pinnell and Missouri 171. After ensuring that everyone involved was unharmed, they stayed for about 2.5 hours, removing hazardous material.
The tractor trailer was leaking some diesel fuel out of a saddle tank. We were able to basically use our kit, our leak stop kit that we have, that we carry on our trucks, and we were able to stop the leak and mitigate that situation.
Perkins says this isn't the first time an accident like this has occurred at the intersection. He cites the steep nature of the crossing, potentially making it difficult for the vehicle to pass.
That particular crossing is just a little higher and sits a little higher than the rest, I should say. So it just, to me, it's one of those things where, the railroad has done a lot of work on it and has done, a lot of maintenance on it.
But despite the road closure, the nearby Lily Pad Cafe continues to operate as normal.
Had a little slowdown moment, but really, honestly, it's felt like it stayed normal for us. A lot of our regulars were in this morning, so we have our coffee guys that sit around and drink, and one of them is retired from the train, and he was discussing everything about, so it has been the talk of the town, everyone just discussing and going through. We still had our normal customers with it, but business has stayed pretty steady.
The Missouri Highway Patrol tells KOAM that the driver of the tractor trailer was not in the vehicle at the time of the collision. Reporting in Carl Junction, Kenny Forman, KOAM News.
I just want to be comfortable and in a nice place.
Comfort has been hard to come by, according to residents living on the 1610 West Laurel Trailer Park. Anne Marie Price, who's the groundskeeper there, has lived here since late last year with her daughter, but now they're being told to move.
We all kind of settled down a little bit and got all those scary thoughts about we're going to lose our homes out of our heads, and he collected rent one more time and then bounced to Arizona and left us all here.
The City of Independence shared a water shutoff notice to residents, citing the bill for the property being past due. April 20th was the last day of active water service for the trailer park. Then just 10 days later, residents came home to this, a 72-hour notice from the city to vacate their property.
Where's the court date? Where's any of this?
Price says the actual landlord of the property, Kirsty Michelle, wasn't the one managing bills. Price claimed the manager, Michael Vors, was the one entrusted with payments. Vors tells KOAM he stopped paying for the water after the residents stopped paying rent, though Price says this is very much overblown and that the city is enabling Vors.
Everyone that has not given him rent this month, or anyone that didn't give him rent last month when he pulled his crap, and it was obvious because the city kept coming by.
The city also says it's been working with the property owner since June of 2025 to try and prevent this situation. It was easy to see the frustration of the residents.
Even if they say, okay, we'll turn the water back on for 3 months, give you guys time to find location places.
Price wants the city to hear their concerns, and she's willing to do her part to make it a respectable place to live again.
Allow her to make payments on the water bill. Like, allow us to pay our rent by handing them our rent money. Allow me to continue to upkeep this and clean it up. And anything that's not up to code, give me a list. I will gladly go through it.
In Independence, Kenny Forman, KOAM News.
It was wedged down, like, kind of in one of these cracks. Like, if I wouldn't have been right where I was, I wouldn't have been able to see it. They couldn't see it from the boat, and they were right out in the water next to it, so it was pretty hidden.
Earlier this month, 15-year-old Waylon Overman was here at Honey Creek and Grove for a high school fishing tournament. After noticing a football among these rocks, he looked closer and discovered something a little bit more significant.
Came up for the football and tossed it to my buddy Trevin, and on my way back down, I looked down on the rocks and I could see like some bones down there or something, so I thought it was a skull, but I just wanted to make sure, so I grabbed a stick and picked it up with a stick.
After showing his teammates and his father what he had found, the group, who was out on a boat, immediately contacted the GRDA, who managed to identify it despite its condition.
We brought him out here, and when he seen it, he was like, oh, it's real, and he called it in. Was kind of pretty surprised about it. The bottom part of the jaw was missing. It was pretty yellow, and it was just kind of broke up a little bit. The front couple teeth were missing, and it had some holes in it, like behind the eye socket.
The skull was then sent to the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's office, who passed it back to GRDA after determining the death was not recent. In a statement, GRDA Communications Director Justin Alberti tells KOAM, quote, "The GRDA does still have the skull in its possession and is currently working with the tribes to determine a proper, respectful final resting place. It does appear to be very old, perhaps 1,500 years. Having no regrets about an unsuccessful day of fishing, Waylon says it would be nice to be mentioned in a museum, but hopes the GRDA can properly identify it."
I think that was kind of God pushing us to come back to here, because we knew that this spot held fish and just wanted to come check it one more time, and so we were sent over here and just hopped up on the bank and just found it. So hopefully they would be able to see if it was somebody's family member or something that they lost.
In Grove, Kenny Forman, KOAM News. If you're in Pittsburgh looking to catch a movie on the big screen this summer, you're out of luck. AMC Classic Pittsburgh 8 has permanently closed, leaving many folks having to look elsewhere for entertainment.
They were changing the billboards, and I asked them, oh, what's coming? And they said, well, we're closing. So it was a total shock.
Katie Budd has enjoyed coming to the theater since she was in high school and has trouble understanding the sudden closure.
I am totally confused. I don't know why this happened, because when I'd walk by, I'd see people in there. It wasn't like nobody came, so I don't know if this, just a sign of the times, everything closing.
In a statement, AMC Theaters confirmed to KOAM that Sunday, May 31st was the last day of operations, adding, quote, "AMC routinely reviews the theaters in our circuit and makes decisions based on what will strengthen the company going forward." Tylese DePriest and her family recently moved from Joplin, and she's not thrilled about having to travel back there just to see a movie.
When you deal with bigger companies, it is unfortunate because they don't see the value that either it added to the community that they suddenly took away.
Marlon Dewey heard rumors about a closure, so he took his son to the theater for one last showing and a chance to cash in on rewards. But he doesn't expect to continue on with AMC.
It's not going to benefit me to have an AMC membership if it's 20, 30, 40 miles away, so I went ahead and canceled the membership.
At the same time, he'll miss the bonding the theater provided him and his son.
Our first movie that he got to see was actually at this movie theater when he was 1 year old, and so we're always going to have those memories.
In Pittsburg, Kenny Forman, KOAM News.